When Barack Obama came into power, he did something I don't think anybody recognizes, but it was the most deleterious thing in my life that any president's done. He took the binary of the unique African-American experience, which was like no other minority. And that binary had been something that binary since the Civil War and the Civil Rights Movement had been something the United States was working and succeeding in. And he said that it's not just black versus white, it's everybody who is non-white. They're part of a collective. And all of a sudden I noticed that people who were rich farm owners with 10,000 acres from the Punjab, or a third generation Japanese optometrist, or a upper middle class professor from Brazil was telling me that he was diverse. And all of a sudden they were part of this group. And we were all going to find some type of edge. So we had Elizabeth Warren saying she was Native American. We had Rachel Dolezal saying she was black. And it became kind of a parlor game among friends of mine. They said, you know, your children have Oklahoma blood in them. Maybe they're Cherokee. Why don't you take a DNA and they can get a little edge? Everybody was trying to find some edge. And it shows you how racist we've become because, as you know, in the old South, everybody was doing the opposite. Everybody was scared stiff that somewhere in their past they had black blood, and they had 1/16 was the rule, one drop. If you could trace a African American, then you were considered African American. Now we've gone back to the Confederate idea and just flipped it, but it's still racist. So we're tribal people now, and there's no society, whether it's the Balkans or Rwanda, we know where that goes. We know what we have a destiny with, because everybody to survive will start being tribal. I live in a community that's 85% Latino. I don't know very many white people anymore. They mostly moved away. But at Walmart, for some strange reason, before 8 o'clock in the morning, it's all white, the vestigial population. And for the first time in my life, I walk in, and here's what happens. People don't know me. Hi, how are you? Hey, good to see you. And what they're doing is they're identifying with a shared whiteness because they feel the whole society is becoming tribal, and they're going to adopt by tribe. And I'll say to some, I don't know who you are. Why would I feel closer to that person because he happens to be white than a Mexican-American person who's conservative and shares my own view? But if that's where we're headed, and when history teaches us, once we go tribal, it's like going nuclear. Once one nation goes nuclear, one people goes tribal, everybody's gonna go tribal for defense. It happens like that. The work of a multiracial, unified culture takes centuries. The work of a multicultural, divisive culture can happen in 2 or 3 years.